I've been having some issues with my Onan 4000 generator on my Class C motorhome. And what had happened is when it would run, it would shut off. And I thought, okay, it's a plugged fuel filter, and had some issues with some fuel coming through. So replaced the fuel filter. The line, when I put it back on, was kind of dry rotted. So I replaced the entire line to the back of the fuel tank, and then took it camping. And about 20-30 minutes in on a warm day, it stopped working. And tried to press the prime for the fuel pump. It acted like it wasn't getting gas. Primed it, didn't get anything. No fuel coming out. It cooled down. About 20 minutes later, went over, fired back up. Ran for about 20 minutes, got hot, shut off again. Pretty sure it is the fuel pump. And if not, it's the solenoid, but I'm gonna replace the fuel pump today and show you how to do that. Make sure step number 1 is that you disconnect your battery. You can shut it off inside, but you have to disconnect your battery as well. You're working with electrical wires right near where there is gas, so you definitely don't want any kind of spark coming through. The fuel pump is right in behind the solenoid. The first thing we need to do before we do that, though, is unhook the gas line from underneath where it comes into the fuel filter. So just underneath the generator is where the fuel line comes in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this up, pull this fuel line off, and let it drain a little bit into a bucket. And then I'm going to be able to work from the top side as soon as I get this unhooked. All right, so we've got that disconnected. It's good to have a bucket. There'll be a couple of drips of gas that come out of there, or if you have a fancy line clamp, you can use that as well. That exposes the fuel filter, which is attached to the back of the fuel pump. Now what we will do is go back up top and remove the things in front so we can get the fuel pump out. We are going to pull some of these items out of the way as the different wires. We're going to pull the solenoid out, and then the main electrical box here after we get some of this out of the way. So the first thing you're going to do is unplug this wire right here that's in the way. Tried to get it kind of out of the way. I don't want to refund it too much. It's not really not a lot of places to go with it at this point. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this wire off the solenoid. Okay, this is a 1/2 inch, but it was weird because the wrench didn't feel like it was going on it good, but it was so tight I decided to use a socket to get it off so I could gently get in there and get it off without breaking anything on the solenoid, and that worked pretty well. Okay, so this bolt is a T30 that holds in the solenoid, and I tried using my little stubby with my T30 bit, my Torx Head 30 bit, but whoever tightened it down so tight I couldn't do it. So I had to go get my little handy dandy thing here so I could actually get a little bit more torque on it to actually get it to the point where I can pull it out with the stubby. So just remember that when you're retightening things, you don't need to tighten them so tight that you can't ever get it back off again. Okay. Goes over a little clip as you put it in. So let me see if I can show you that. You can see in here that hole right there is where the I just removed the Torx Head bolt from, and then you can see where it clips on the other side. So it clips on one side and bolts in on the other. There's the fuel pump back there. Next thing we have to do is remove this black box here. Okay, so to get into these T30 bolts that are in here, I have to remove this bar. That is 2 self-tapping sheet metal screws with Phillips heads on either side, which don't want to come out very easily, which I'm going to have to fiddle with those. Let's see if I can get this set out. Got that bar off. That bar was held in with 2 self-tapping sheet metal screws with the Phillips head. It was kind of a pain to get out, so I'm going to they were tight and rusty in there, so I'm going to replace both of those when I put it back in. That exposed the area that I needed to get to these T30 bolts here to take this out. So I'm going to pull that out now. remove that T30 that is there, and then pull out the fuel pump. And once I get the fuel pump pulled out, then I'll get the wires taken off of it. And I don't know if you saw, there was a little part that kind of sparked down here, and I've got the battery completely disconnected. So I put a glove over that piece of wire that caused the spark, because there's fuel around. We certainly don't want to catch everything on fire. Now, I should be able to this puppy out for the most part. Okay, the fuel line had this weird crimped thing that was on it, so I had to kind of cut it off with a pair of wire cutters to get that off. And the ground wire for the pump is attached to a big bolt, and the one that comes with the new one isn't the same size. So I took that off, but I'm going to ground the new pump right onto where it attaches with the bolt. So let me kind of clean this up here, and I'll show you what I've got so far. I've got the new fuel pump here, and I'm going to connect the fuel filter, pull that little rubber piece out, and I'm going to connect the fuel filter in to the end of the fuel pump, and then tighten that down, get that nice and snug without over tightening it. And then I am going to connect the gas line next. Right, we've got the fuel line attached there. I'm tightening that hose up, and then I'm going to fish this back through the same way it came out. I'm going to attach my green wire to that little red one that's right there, and then I'm going to take that ground wire and I'm going to attach it to where I put the bolt in on the fuel pump. So I'm going to put this bolt into this wire and then attach it into the hole. Remember, with this fuel pump, it slides up underneath one piece and then attaches on this side, attaches on that side right there. Alright, so the fuel filter is back in place with the line hooked up. The next job that we have is to get this box back in. I did clean up a couple of the connections on the solenoid while I have it out, and then we'll get that back in, and then get the solenoid back in next. So once you get it in that lip, then you just push it down, get these Torx head bit bolts lined back up, get those in, get them snugged. Once you got those in, then it's time to hook the solenoid back up. Remember, when you're putting the solenoid in, it goes in and latches over the piece that's back there. Then you pull it, put it up in place, and screw it back in with just the one Torx head screw. Okay, I've got the solenoid hooked back up. Now I just need to hook these wires together here. And should be pretty good. I did go ahead. Oh, I forgot to turn the camera on when I hooked up the fuel line underneath, so I just stuck that back on and screwed it back on. But we should be able to hook the battery back up and then see what we have. So I've got the battery hooked back up. I am going to now use the primer, make sure the fuel pump works, and I'm going to check for leaks while I'm priming it. Okay, I don't see any leaks, so I'm going to double check it one more time without the camera so I can get around good, and then I will start it. So it is running, so now we have to see if it will last more than 20 minutes.
It lasted more than 20 minutes. We finally got it taken care of, so we were very happy to have that done. For more how-to videos like this, click on the video listed on the screen or go to our channel and check out the playlist. If you found value in this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and as always, doing things yourself saves you money and allows you to be free. See you in the next video.